Is this: how do young men like us, who didn't listen to society, who are on our own, how do we grow and improve ourselves so that we can live a better tomorrow? That is the question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is James Radzinski, and welcome to the Ascend Momentum Show. Oh man, today was a great day. And I'm sorry that I'm still on this poor audio quality. Last night, the package was supposed to come, the adapter. I already have the microphone. My dad gave me one of his really nice microphones that he uses for music and a stand. It's already set up right now for podcasting right next to me. But the adapter, the XLR to USB adapter that I ordered, was supposed to come yesterday, but it didn't come yet, and it's supposed to come today by 2 minutes ago, and it didn't come yet. So I just started recording because I'm like cutting it close. Right now it's 2:47, and I'll be done recording at 3:47, and that gives me like 15 minutes to upload the video. And then at 4 o'clock is when I start studying Expert Secrets. And then 5 o'clock is my nighttime routine. So I could cut my study time cut into it a little bit, but I prefer not to. So that's why I just started recording. Because I also don't know when the package will come. Because they didn't say like X amount of stops away on Amazon. So it just says that it's been shipped. I don't know, but besides that, today was an amazing day. I definitely felt like I shifted my lifeline. My lifeline has shifted. Just things don't seem the same as they were before. Everything is just so amazing. And let me tell you why. So today was the first day of school. And I did my normal routine. I woke up at 4, did all my studying on transurfing, all that stuff. I got 9 squats on that medicine ball that I'm using to practice my balance. I got 9 squats on that. That's my record, but I didn't do that this morning. I did that the other day. But I'm trying to go for a new thing where I just walk on the medicine ball. Like I stand on the medicine ball and walk it around. It's really difficult. When I first tried it, I could barely go I could go less than a foot. I could probably go like 2 inches. And then I fall. But now I can go probably 4 feet. Like this morning I went 4 feet. That was my record. And so right now, I promise not to talk about my mom, but I'm just going to say my mom is out of town right now. And when she gets back, my goal is she'll be back in like 1 week. And my goal is to be able to walk all the way from one end of the hallway to the other end of the hallway, which is like 20 to 30 feet maybe. So that's my goal, to be able to do that by the time she gets home. And I'll show her, and that'll be awesome. So now let me talk about what happened today. Today was the first day of school, and I went in early, and it was perfect because I didn't bring my phone, because I'm not bringing my phone to school. And so I didn't plan for this to happen, but right when I was leaving my house, my friend Franklin was biking right by. So we ended up biking to school together. And we both went early because we were both going to our counselor early in the morning before school. So we got there, and the counselor didn't show up until after I left because I had to go to my first period, because my first period was a class that I was planning on taking. So I went to my first period, but my friend stayed and waited for the counselor. And he rearranged his schedule. He didn't really have as good success as I did, but he's going again tomorrow. But I went to first period, and my friend got in the same class of my first period, which is awesome. Then I went to the counselor during second period and rearranged my entire schedule. And let me tell you this. I went to the counselor, and I was like, we were talking. She did not, at first she was like, no. But then I was like, yes. But I was saying that I wanted to drop all my classes and only take the required classes and graduate early and have like and just get out like before 12. I wanted to get out at like fourth period. And then she said that I needed one more elective or one more credit to be able to graduate. So I had to add in one more class. So, but we didn't realize that. So then I was like, well, is there any way to make this work where I take the bare minimum? And she was like, no, I can't make it work for you. And then I was like, well, who can I contact to make it work? And she was like, the state of Illinois, just like jokingly, to try and get me off the case. And so I was like, all right, so can I have their contact information? And she was like, no, this is going way too far. This is crazy. And then so she told me, and then she grabbed another one of the counselors. So me and two counselors walked all the way like across the office, all the way across like the building to their supervisor. So we all had to go to the supervisor. And so I was just like in the room with two counselors and their supervisor, and we were just talking about it. And then we came to the conclusion that I was to become a part-time student. And they were being very supportive. I mean, they wanted me to take like math and stuff. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And so they let me become a part-time student, which is awesome. I'm so happy. So we went back to the office, her office, my counselor's office, and we figured out the schedule. So first period I have humanities, which I went in, and then later in that period my friend came in, so that was awesome. We're in the same class. And that class I'm actually really excited for because just the way she speaks, I feel like I could get a lot of benefit from it. But also, she mentioned a book that we're reading called Siddhartha, or it's like about Siddhartha, who is like the Buddha. And so I'm really excited to read that. And there's one more key thing that is a reason why this class is so awesome. She said that this was her favorite class to teach. And this is her favorite class ever. So that is awesome. It's the best when you have a passionate teacher on the subject. So that class was awesome. Then I go to second period is my gym class. I skipped it today because I wanted to go to the counselor to fix all my stuff. And I'm in co-ed team sports, which will be fun. But I'm trying to get into adventure ed, which is a class that I took last year, all year. And it's basically it's a gym class where you do a bunch of awesome stuff. Like you kayak in the pool. Like you literally kayak in the pool. And then you rock climb. They have a ropes course at the school. You climb the ropes course. It's awesome. That class is awesome. But then I just realized that last year we were supposed to do a biking unit and we didn't. Alright, that's besides the point. I'll have to ask that teacher about that. But then my third period is one of the classes that I had to add to get another credit. So it's not a required class, but it's just another credit. And it was one of the classes that I was going to take until I wanted to graduate early and drop all my classes. and it's Business Incubator. And it's basically where you group up with a group of 4 to 5 people and you just make a business in class. So that'll be awesome. And there's another special thing about that class. That teacher is extremely passionate about the topic and what he does. So that is, like I said in my first period, if you have a passionate teacher, that is awesome. And usually I only have like 1 or 2 passionate teachers. So far, I have first and second period. Or not second period, first and third period. And I'll get to fourth period, which is another passionate teacher, but I'll get to that in a second. So my third period is Business Incubator, and by the way, in all my classes, like my first and my third period class and my fourth period class, I talked to them all about how I don't bring my phone to school, and they were chill about it. So I didn't bring my phone to school, and I will not at all. And that class, Business Incubator, is gonna be really fun. I feel like I could add a lot to the table, because just looking at the winning team of last year, I could definitely beat them. And if they won, a similar style team will win this year, I will definitely beat them. My team is gonna win first place. Okay. And also there's one thing that he said today that really stuck with me. He said one of his passions, one of his goals is to have a student of his go on and become a millionaire. Now, I'm not sure if anyone actually has done that yet that he's taught, but I will be the first, if not the next. I will be one of his students that goes on to become a millionaire and fulfill his dream. I mean, I'm doing it for myself, but that's another piece to the puzzle. He'll help me on my path, and I'll become a millionaire. And I foresee that he'll contact me in the future and ask me to come talk to his class, and I really want to do that. That'd be awesome. In like 5 years' time or 2 years' time, come back and talk to a class about business. That'd be so awesome. I'm really looking forward to the future. Now, that period is awesome. Now, let me tell you about fourth period. When I walked into that class, that class is my English class. It's sports literature. That's what it's called. And that's my other English class that I have to take for a required class. When I walked in, I was like, no way this is real. That class was bumping. Literally all of the varsity athletes, half the soccer team, a bunch of football players, that class was full of my friends and a bunch of people that I knew. And all the athletes. So that class was awesome. And that's probably my least favorite class, just because we're going to have to watch movies, but that's okay. I prefer not to watch a movie. I prefer just to read a book, which is crazy because last year at this time I would have absolutely preferred a movie over a book. But it's okay. It's still going to be awesome. Really happy about that class. And that teacher is really passionate about the subject. So all of my teachers are passionate about the subject. And if I get into Adventure Ed with Mr. I'm not going to say his name, but if I get into Adventure Ed with my teacher that I had last year, that he is also very passionate about that class. And I love him too. He's one of the best gym teachers I've ever had. So that is awesome. And I talked to my counselor about getting in that class, and she said that I should come check in with her every single day this week to try and get into that class. So let me tell you this. Okay, I was just gonna look up my schedule, like the bell schedule at my school, but I remembered the promise I told you guys that I was gonna stay focused and not use my computer. So I will not look that up, but I think it's probably like 11:30 maybe. Around 11:30 is when I get out of school, cuz I have first period, second period, third period, and fourth period, and then fifth period is lunch, and then sixth, seventh, eighth are all dismissals. And when she was explaining it to me, she said that it's already sketchy to do two early dismissals, much so she already had to go through a bunch of loops and get a bunch of confirmation to get two early dismissals. And I was asking for three. I was actually asking for four, but what I got was three, and I'm happy with what happened. And so that, man, that I'm so happy. I just have first through fourth period, and then fifth period is lunch, but I don't have to go to lunch because they don't take attendance. Like, why would they take attendance at lunch? And so I literally just leave. So I don't have to eat lunch at the school anymore, which was probably like last year. I remember lunch was like so boring while I was eating it because my entire lunch table was just on their phones the whole time. And I mean, that's just everyone. Everyone's on their phones, but it's okay. No, I don't have to go to lunch, and I'm very happy about that. I'm very grateful that I don't have to go to lunch. If any of my friends are listening to this episode and just heard me say that, I still enjoyed lunch, but I'm just saying I prefer to eat lunch at home. I'm like an introvert. I'm an introvert, so prefer to be alone, you know. Or I prefer to recharge alone. That's what lunch is. All right, off that subject. Don't feel guilt. Guilt tears you up inside. So once I am done with fourth period, I just go, I leave. Like today, I was going to the main entrance to leave, and the security guard was like, "Where are you headed? Where are you going?" And I was like, "I'm leaving." And she was like, "No, you have to go through the attendance office." And I was like, "I'm a part-time student. I don't have any classes, so I'm just like off for the day." And she like reluctantly, after like a minute of a little back and forth, she was like, "All right, just head out. I don't want to see you back again," because she didn't want me to be like lying and just using that as an excuse to like leave during lunch. And she looked at my ID, which has my lunch period on it, and I got that ID before I changed my schedule. So on my ID, my lunch period is period 6, but my new lunch period is 5th, and I was leaving at 5th period today. So she probably thought that I was lying, but it's whatever. Doesn't matter. So now I just leave doing that. So great. I'm so happy. I'll have to figure out where my last class is, like the door that my last class is closest to, because then I'll put my bike there tomorrow or the next day or whenever I figure it out. I'll park my bike there so I don't have to go through the main entrance, and so I can just get out quicker. Because it takes like 2 or 3 minutes to walk across that whole building. So then once I leave, I just go straight home and cook my lunch, which is 4 ground beef and 1 like with sauerkraut on it. It's like 1 1/3 pounds of ground beef with sauerkraut, and then eggshells. I eat like 2 more eggshells, and then I eat some fruit, whatever is available, like grapes, blueberries, melon, banana, whatever is available. And then I have my 2 chicken breasts after that. And so once I'm done eating that, today it was 1 o'clock. It was around like 1:05 when I was done. But I'm trying to cut that down quicker and get it more efficient and be done like by like 12:50. And so then once I'm done with that, I go straight to the gym. My bag is already packed. I packed both of my bags the night before. And then I go straight to the gym, which the gym is, so the way my town is, my house is, imagine a graph, imagine a graph that you would see in math with the X and Y axis. So let's put my house at 0, 0, like the bottom. So then the school would be at like 2, 1 or something like that. The school is like 1.5 miles away from my house, top right. So I go to the top right and 1.5 miles, and then you get to the school. But then directly north of my school, all right. So these aren't the actual directions of real life. I'm just having these directions relative onto the graph. So on the graph, from my house, if my house is the origin of the graph, which is 0, 0, northeast 1.5 miles is the school about, and then north half a mile from the school is the gym. So basically, right now what I'm doing is I'm biking all the way home 1.5 miles, which is the opposite direction of the gym, and then cooking, eating, and then biking all the way back to the school, all the way to the gym, which is 2 miles. So I'm kind of wasting a lot of time on the commutes, but I think for now I'm going to do it until I come up with a better solution, because I was thinking about packing my lunch, but I'd rather cook my lunch. It's so much better to cook. So yeah, I cook lunch and then go to the gym. And man, coming from someone who has been going to the gym for 2 years at like 6 in the morning before school for like 2 years in a row, I was missing out. And I don't regret it, because I probably wouldn't have been consistent because I had to go to school. So the reason why I originally went to the gym before school instead of after was because I had way more energy before school to work out, so my lifts would have been better. Because by the time I was done with school, I was super tired, low energy, because it was like 3:30 in the afternoon. After like 8 hours of school, that's tiring. But now that I have a half-day schedule, I'm a part-time student, I'm going, now that I switched, like yesterday was my first, and I talked about this in my last podcast. Yesterday was my first episode, or my first gym session being like fully fed. So I always go to the gym first thing in the morning after my breakfast. So I only have eaten one meal and drank however much water I drink in the morning, which is like just 1 glass full. But yesterday I went after having 3 meals and having hydrated all day long. And that is a game changer. Yesterday was the best leg day I've ever hit. And today was the best pull day, which is back and buys, that I've ever hit. And tomorrow is chest day, push day, chest, triceps, shoulders, which I predict will be the best push day I've ever hit also. And it's all because it makes a huge difference. My lifts have gone up. So before, maybe I could do 10 pull-ups with maybe like 9 or 10 pull-ups. I think it was 9 actually. but let's just say 9 or 10 pull-ups with 10 pounds on, like, my gym has a belt where I can like wrap around. I can basically carry like 10 extra, however much extra pounds I want while I'm doing like pull-ups and stuff. And so I usually in the mornings, I'm able to do 10 pounds for like 9 or 10 reps. But now since I'm bulking again, I'm doing heavier weight. I have to do heavier weights and um, lower reps in the first half of my workouts. I went in depth on this yesterday's episode, but now that I'm bulking, I'm doing heavier, and I'm doing it in the afternoon, so I'll have more energy and I'll have been fed more calories in me in the day. I am doing low reps, high weight in the first half, and then like supersetting the second half with aesthetic reps with 8 to 12. And I will say it felt good. I did 20 pounds, 20 extra pounds. So I was thinking, all right, I'll just do my normal 10 pounds for the pull-ups. But then I was like, no, I'm doing it in the afternoon. I'm having more energy, and also I'm bulking now, so I have to start lifting heavy. Quit being a wuss. And so I picked up 2 10-pound plates, put them on my belt. So now I weighed like, since I just had eaten lunch, I probably weighed like 200 pounds, I bet. Maybe 195. I usually weigh like 170, 175. So I was probably weighing like 195 to 200 pounds. And I thought that I was only going to be able to do like 5 pull-ups. I did 7. And they were like slow also, slow on the descent. So that's huge. So maybe I should even add a little bit more next week. I don't know. We'll see. And then I did like the rest of my workout. The second half hit where I did dumbbell curls and I did like supersetting and stuff like that. And then once I got up to the locker room again to shower, man, I was like, I didn't notice it until after I'd left the gym, but my pump was absolutely insane today. When I left the gym, it was super sunny out, and I looked at my bicep, and my vein was popping so much. It was the furthest it was ever popping. So that was awesome. Best pump I've ever had, and I was only in there for like 40 minutes. And plus, since I'm a part-time student now, I'm going during the school day, so no one else is gonna be there. It's like very not crowded, but there's enough people there to where I'm like working hard and I'm not just alone. Whereas when I was when I would go to the gym at like 6 a.m. and on the weekends, it was like absolutely empty and I was just lifting all alone. Which I was still putting in the work, but it's different when there's people around you that you don't know, especially. But when I came home from the gym, I was like smiling the whole way home because it just felt different. It like felt like a Florida vibe. And I was biking home. It was nice, warm, sunny, a little humid. And I just felt like my lifeline was switching. I'm getting closer to my goals. And I'm just like so happy. My mom asked me how I was doing, like how was my first day, and I was like so happy. I was like, everything's awesome. Oh shoot, never mind. Yeah, but I'm excited. Hopefully tomorrow the podcast, hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to set up the microphone. I already have a podcast software, Podcastle. I'm pretty sure it's not like the thing that most people use. It's just like the first thing that popped up when I searched for it, and it works. And that's what I use to edit all of my stuff. It works, and I paid like $250 for a whole year of it, so I might as well use it. But I want to tell you guys, I literally have like $90 in my bank account. I think like $80 now because I bought the adapter. So I am like running short, but I predict that soon, since the money is an attribute to the path towards your goal, I predict soon money will come towards me as I get closer and closer to my goal. Honestly, I'm gonna try and do an experiment, and this is transurfing, by the way. In transurfing, he said, don't worry about the money. Don't focus on the money. Focus on the goal. The money is an attribute to the goal. And when you create your path to your goal, money comes along while you create your path to the goal. So, as I'm creating my path to my goals, money will come to me. And then, yeah. So, in real time when I'm recording this, it's Tuesday, and I'll have been in the top 1% of podcasters in for 2 days now. So if you look up, I've been talking about this a lot in the past couple episodes, but if you look up how many podcasts make it past episode 21, 1%. Literally only 1% of podcasts make it past episode 21. And so right now, in real time for me, my 22nd episode just published, like this morning at 12 a.m. That was my worst episode yet, I'm pretty sure. So don't listen to that. And if you already listened to it, I'm sorry. That is a terrible episode. I'm pretty sure it was 22. It was like the one that was labeled like everyone has bad days. But by the time you guys are listening to this episode on its release day, I'll be recording episode like 33, I think, or 32. And by the time I make it to Florida for Funnel Hacking Live, I'll be on like episode 50 or 60. So that's like actually insane to think about. I'm pretty sure by the time my birthday hits, I'll be on like episode 49 or something like that. Man. And it's so satisfying every time I upload my video, or download my episode, because I have them all in the same folder on my computer. And it just looks so satisfying seeing them all in one area. And it was satisfying when I built it up, and then once I got that scroll bar, because it got too long to be able to see it on one page, it was even more satisfying. Now it's just super satisfying. And also seeing my episode 15 through the current on podcastle.ai, it's really satisfying because I didn't start editing my episodes until episode 15 because I needed to figure out how to connect two clips into one like file. Because if you guys have noticed, for the past all of my episodes that have gone over 1 hour, so like the past 12 episodes, my voice recorder like cuts out at 1 hour and then starts a new recording essentially. And so that's why it like pauses for like 1 minute or 1 second where you guys just, my voice just cuts out for, it teleports to the next thing that you hear. So sorry if you guys hear if you guys miss out on some information. Hopefully this episode will be the last where that happens, because I'll be having this microphone. And this microphone is really nice too. It looks really nice. It's called Shure, SHURE, SM85. So my dad just gave it to me to borrow. So I'll take it. I mean, I'm definitely going to use it. And I was going to buy my own, but he told me that he'll let me borrow his. So that's awesome. Now, if you guys heard episode 21, I'm pretty sure I talked about how episode 14, there was like a shift in my life. And then episode 21, there was another shift. And that's like 6 episodes different, or 7 episodes apart, 7 days apart. And in episode 21, I was talking about how it's been like every week, once a week, something awesome happens. And like a change in my life happens. And I was saying like, I'm not going to expect it to happen again, but maybe on episode like 28 or whatever episode is 7 days from now, maybe on that episode I will be at, like, I'll have another time where I, like, another shift in my life. And it happened 6, so instead of 7 it was 6 episodes. So today's episode 27. So I don't know, I'm really looking for the future. Things are just happening quicker and quicker, and it's really like, I've been locking in on my routine. I know that as long as I keep this routine up, and now that I have these classes, I will 100% be able to keep this routine up for many months to come. As long as I keep this routine up, I will be successful very soon. And I'm very confident in that. Like, the core things that I've been doing, in the morning I do balancing on my my medicine ball, and everything I do has a purpose. So me balancing on the medicine ball is to get better balance, because then once I become a surfer and I move to Hawaii and I start surfing, I will have such a big advantage than I would have otherwise, because my balance will be way better. So I'll be starting off, my starting point will be way higher than it would have been. So that's the purpose of that. The purpose of me meditating, I talked about this a lot, but I found that meditating every single day consistently in the morning and at night has been a game changer for me. My focus is so much better. I can get into the zone. And when you're in the zone, you're basically the most optimal you, most efficient you, which is extremely valuable now, especially now, because I'm not trying to have homework. I'm not trying to work on school at home. I'm only trying to work on school at school. And then go straight from school. And then once I'm done with school, don't focus on school at all. I'm trying to just batch school all at once and just only focus on school 100% during school. And so meditation allows me to have that focus to get things done. And that also takes discipline. And me taking cold showers every day, no matter what. And it gets easier, but it's still tough. It's still really hard for me. Like this morning I was struggling. But I do it because I need that discipline to be able to do what needs to be done during the day. And every time I do it, my discipline gets higher and higher and stronger. Now, I'm not saying everything on my routine. I already talked about this in my previous episodes. I don't remember which. But studying in the morning, this is why I'm super glad. This is another reason why I'm super glad that I decided to switch going to the gym in the afternoon because studying in the morning has been one of the best things that I have done. I studied probably 2 hours after waking because in the first 2 hours I'm doing my morning routine like meditation and balancing on the ball, doing that neck exercise that I talked about last episode, all kinds of stuff, eating, stuff like that. And then that gives me literally like an hour and a half to just study in the morning because I have to leave at like 7:40. So from 6 until like 7:20, maybe 7:30 if I'm cutting it close, I get to study. And in the morning, I've been studying reality transurfing because two reasons. I originally did it in the afternoon, and I was retaining way more from my morning study session than my afternoon study session. So I swapped Expert Secrets and reality transurfing. So now I'm studying transurfing in the morning and Expert Secrets in the afternoon. And that's just because transurfing is way more like valuable for me to retain more of it. Expert Secrets, 100%. I want to retain everything in that. But when you're just doing things in your day, you just have to prioritize things. Expert Secrets is 100% a priority, but transurfing is just a higher priority on my list right now. And that doesn't mean that I'm ignoring Expert Secrets. Like right after I'm done recording this episode, I'm going straight to study Expert Secrets for 1 hour. Like I still do it in the afternoon. It's just I want the most efficient, optimal time of my time in the morning on transurfing. And the second reason why I chose transurfing in the morning is because that sets me up on the day, for the day. It gets me attuned, it gets my thought energy attuned, and it reminds me of things that I need to be reminded about to prepare me for the day. And I saw this especially this morning when I was studying. I knew that I needed to be reading this stuff to prepare me for the day because I just finished the alternatives flow chapter this morning. And while I was reading it, I was like, I got to keep this in mind today because today is will be a turning point, a possible turning point in my day or in my life. It will be a milestone turning point. And so I had to follow the principles of transurfing if I wanted to succeed, and I did. Once I dropped the importance, the walls of the barriers, the obstacles, the problems crumbled. So that's the two reasons why I read transurfing in the morning. So then once I'm done with transurfing, I just pack up and then go to the school. And honestly, I'm really excited for this school year. My classes are actually like really fun. I'm not even gonna lie, I was thinking about dropping out because I thought all my classes were gonna be terrible. No, I'm probably not gonna drop out. I'm definitely gonna finish up. And this is one thing that I was thinking about because my friend wants to drop out also. And since he didn't get the classes that he wanted, he might actually go through with it. But I'm going to tell him what I'm about to tell you guys. And it is that if you were going to school, that's pendulum, right? But if you were to drop out, that would create an even stronger pendulum and an even more destructive pendulum. Because if you were to drop out and you're still living in your parents' house, then the thought energy will be so destructive, your life may switch courses for the worse. And the thing is, in Russell Brunson's book, or not Russell Brunson's, MJ DeMarco's book, The Millionaire Fastlane. He talked about how he lived in his parents' house for like maybe 10 years. I don't know how long. But he lived in his parents' house for a long time while he was figuring things out and trying to become a millionaire. And while he was there, his mom would always yell, "Get a job," or try and get him to get a job. And that situation could possibly play out if you were to drop out. So if you were just to go to school, yeah, it's a destructive pendulum. But if you were to drop out, you would probably be in a worse situation because parents would probably not understand. And they would probably not, like, I don't know. Besides that point. That's why I'm going to try and convince him not to drop out. And because if I really think that this is going to help me along my path. Because right now, one of the principles in transurfing is to stay awake. It's basically to stay present and remember to follow the principles of transurfing. Reduce importance, don't get caught by a pendulum, and stay awake. And my friend brought this up to me. Going to school is a huge practice to stay awake because we'll be immersed in the pendulum. And we were probably asleep like 99% of the time last year, maybe even more. But now that we've been practicing all summer and studying, we'll be able to train our brain to stay more awake. And while I was at the gym today, I saw my friend, and he actually said, this is a huge opportunity for us because we'll be able to staying awake, that muscle, it's like a muscle in your brain. That command in your brain, your inner guardian, is like a muscle, and you have to train it to get better. And right now, we're probably awake for like 10% of the day. Not good enough. Then tomorrow we'll be awake for 12% of the day and progressively overload. And then by the end of the semester, we will be awake 100% of the time and we will be true transurfers. And it's just amazing practice. It's really good practice. Which, since this is the most destructive pendulum in the world, in my opinion, one of the most, at least, then this is definitely a huge opportunity for us to practice because once we get through this, nothing will be able to nothing will be able to get us off track in the future. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the future. So, in my meditation or my journaling last night, I came up with this thing that I need to do, and it is get a sheet of paper and label it Transurfing Principles. And I need to write down every single transurfing principle as I'm reading. Every single main transurfing principle, every single exercise, every single technique. And then I need to, every single day look at that list and then make a new list for like the week or the month and only focus on those and just 100% focus on them until they become a habit. So, for example, the first thing I will do is probably focus on the positive and stay positive and try to always find a positive in every single situation I encounter, including the negative situations. And so for that entire week, I will stay conscious of that principle And by the end of the week or the month, however long it takes for it to become a habit, then I'll move on to the next one. And then the next one. And I'm pretty sure this is the best technique to go about it. So I'll have to figure out when I can do that. I fear that if I don't do it today, it will never be done. But I'm probably not going to do it today. I have to get some water. Yeah, so staying positive is one of the main principles of transurfing. And on days like this, where awesome things happen to me, it's easy. But on days where I'm like down, my energy is low, which may or may not happen in the future, who knows? But on days like that, that's when I need to focus on trying to find the positive. That's when I need to remember. This is one of the things that I was struggling to find a positive about in my, I was trying to find a positive about going to school, but I definitely am looking forward to this year. There's so many benefits to this that I'm doing. I'm really looking forward to it. And tomorrow I think we have an assembly, which is awesome. I'll have to figure out when that is. I'm a part-time student. I'm a senior. I'm a part-time student, and I'm graduating early. And I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm a surfer. I'm a funnel builder. I'm a surfer. I'm so excited to go surfing. I've never been surfing before. This is one of the best things in my life. This is the best thing that is in my life. Self-improvement is the best thing in my life. And being able to achieve my goals is so awesome. 2 years ago, I was destined to go to college and get a 9-to-5 job, just like everyone else. Now, I'm graduating early. I'm a part-time student, and I'm going to Florida next month to go to a live event to learn about marketing. And soon I will be going to Hawaii and moving there, purchasing a house. $400K. I'm going to purchase a house and move to Hawaii. A 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. I'm looking forward to the future. And I'm really glad that I started documenting the journey when I did. And if you guys have any thoughts about starting a podcast, do it. Just do it. Do it now, because this is one of the most fulfilling things. Honestly, like right now, podcasting is like one of the things that I look forward to in the day. And I only have like 7 subscribers. Less than 300 downloads. So, imagine what it'll be like in 1 month time when I have 1,000 downloads, or 1 year time when I have 1,000 subscribers. I don't know what I'll be like. I definitely think that my growth is going to happen within a year. And then my life will be radically changed within a year. simply because I'm locked in on my routine and I'm focused on the future. This is one of the things that I wrote down in my journal I think last night or the night before, and it was never be the victim of circumstance. Most people are the victim of circumstance, and it's just because they're asleep. But that is how if you are like most people, you live like most people. And that's like a 9 to 5. Very miserable life. I'm not doing that. And the difference between them and me is I'm in charge of my own destiny. I'm choosing my own destiny, and I am not going to be the victim of circumstance. The way you do that is to release importance and stay awake. If you stay awake and stay purposeful and mission-driven, goal-driven, and follow the transurfing principles, then there's no way you can fail because you choose to succeed. You choose to get your life. Now, I want you guys to take note. Right now, I'm a high school student recording this podcast in my parents' basement, which I'm living. This is my childhood home. Like I'm still living here, and I'm 17 years old, broke, like $70 in my bank account, and I'm speaking like this, and it's because my identity has been shifted to that of a successful person. And the first step to making change is to change your identity. So right now, the only thing that's changed in my life is my identity. But then soon after that, I start making decisions based off that new identity, and things start to happen in my life that align with that new identity, and my life starts to change. And every single time this is a transurfing principle, by the way. Every single time a positive change happens in your life, always take note of it and savor it. So today, the positive change that happened was I became a part-time student. So I spent like the whole afternoon thinking about how awesome that is. And what that does is I radiate thought energy to the same frequency of the wave of fortune, which is basically the lifeline that you can get on, which is like you struck a gold vein. So you're just lucky. You just are lucky constantly. And that is, once you hit the wave of fortune, your life begins to shift for the better. And then your lifelines shift to more successful lifelines. And eventually you get to your goal. So right now I have 2 goals. My short-term goal is next month I'm going to Florida with my friend and going to Funnel Hacking Live, which is going to be in like 1 month and 12 days. That's when it starts. So we'll probably get there in like 1 month and 10 days. And my second goal is to purchase a house in Hawaii and live there, like alone or with a friend or whatever. Right now my goal is to do it alone because my friend has different dreams and visions, but I'm going to purchase a house in Florida and moving there, living there, and just focusing 100% on business and going to the gym and surfing. That'll be my days. I'll work on my business like once a week because I'm going to study the 4-hour work week again and automate my business and then just focus 100% on surfing and going to the gym. That would be my life, and that sounds like the good life to me. And I'll also focus on my health by that point, I'll probably be making a lot of money, so I'll be spending a lot of money on my health, and I'll probably join Blueprint, which is Brian Johnson's thing. Just experiment with a lot of things and get my health like perfect. So the future is looking amazing, and I want you guys to take note and of all the changes that are happening, because it's not instant, but it's also not over a long period of time. If you follow the principles of transurfing, you don't have to retire in 40 years. You'll retire in a year or less. So when I started focusing and studying on business, it was like June 26th or something. Less than 2 months ago. And I predict that I will have a steady income by December or by January 1st, by 2024. Alright, to wrap things up, don't forget to download your favorite episodes and subscribe to the Ascend Momentum Show. But before you guys leave, make sure to remember the Eagles.